Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So I wanted to put to rest a question that's been going around for a long time. And the brother who sent me the question, this has been circulating for quite some time. We've heard the discussion amongst the fuqaha and so on. And first and foremost, I want to say I was triggered by this book, okay? This book is by Sister Iman Douglas. She's a convert. It's called The Well-Guarded Treasure. I really recommend this book for the sisters to read, inshallah. So I just received it from someone and I just looked through it. And one of the hadith that I looked at and I came upon was the hadith of Asma bintiazi. And she was the spokesperson of the female companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, radiallahu anha. And basically I'm going to quote the hadith, and it's also found in a book called Usul al-Qaba. And this is a book about the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And we'll discuss the issue. And I've looked it up also, the reliability of the hadith, what Imam Ahmad says, At-Tirmidhi, and others on that. This is La Bas, this is a good hadith. And you can see I can link the description, in the description, the fatwa or the Arabic of it as well, so you can read it. So basically, what are we discussing here? I posted a video some time ago about the responsibility of the wife towards her husband. Yes, I know people say, but the Shafi'i school of thought says this, and other people say that. So there's some discussion about this. However, they even quote one scholar from Kuwait, who in his lecture says that this is the same. He basically says that it is obligatory on the husband to bring someone to serve his wife for such tasks, servant, domestic worker, and so on. I think maybe some of these things were taken out of context. All right. Some of the scholars have said it's not compulsory, including in the school thought of Al-Malik, Shafi, and Abu Hanifa. Within Abu Hanifa's school of thought, there's a very big difference there. Anyway, Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah also said many things. He said Haqul Farash. He said that indeed the one thing that's fard on her is the bed. But the funny thing is that today, women, when you look at it, you talk to liberal women and women who complain and they don't want to do anything. And I'm sorry, there are some of those women. I'm not saying you, sister, take it easy, calm down. I'm not referring to you. I know you're doing a lot for your husband, inshallah. I'm talking about the ones who don't. But it's funny because you reach to the point where, okay, this scholar has said this. No, we don't have to clean and cook for you. And then now others are coming saying, we don't have to sleep with you if we don't feel good or this and that. Yeah, of course, I understand, man. If someone is sick or that's, who in their right sense of mind would believe that some man would just force themselves, their wife is like having a huge headache or like puking or she's sick and he's gonna force herself. And if there are such men, then they need to reassess their adab or their manners and to question themselves whether the Prophet ﷺ would ever do such a thing. And he wouldn't, okay? Because there's certain principles in Islam that there's no harm and no reciprocation of our harm, right? La darara wa la dirar. So these are known. I don't know why there's confusion though. Now it's funny when it comes to an argument that people pick the opinions of scholars that fit there. So it's called like fatwa shopping or sheikh shopping, as some have said. So, okay, so now let's say, so you cannot cook or clean because it's not necessarily your duty. And they're quoting this scholar of Kuwait saying that he should bring a servant. Well, that's because the culture there, and I think it's misquoted. Because I think just because the culture of Khalij though, yes, everyone has like a maid, a Filipino maid or something like that. And culture does come into play in this discussion. I would say that. But we're going here to the asl, to the usul of the issue or to the roots of the issue. What is the problem? The question is, because sometimes people over-exaggerate, over-complicate, and some people oversimplify. Now, I've done some research on this issue. I really like this book. I'm going to read this hadith because I always say, and one of the opinions or the approaches of the correct manhaj and Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah is فَأْتُوا بُرْحَانَكُمْ إِن كُنتُمْ صَادِقِينَ. Bring your proof if you are truthful. We always talk about dalil, not just opinion. Actually, when you look at Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah and those who claim to follow the madhab or the Sahaba, we go based on opinion. Even if, with all respect to the al-imma, the imams, and of course we follow them, no doubt. But in the end, as some of the students of Ibn Taymiyyah said, we love Ibn Taymiyyah, but we love the haqq even more. Now, of course, there'll be a lot of discussions here. Who's a student? Who can deduct this? Who can read? Who can this? Who can that? Right now, I think that's not the point. The point is to look at the evidence that different people have presented. I'm not going to name people because, again, people get very sensitive and you get called different things. Let's look at the argument. The argument is, and I want to read the debate that the brother had with some of the sisters, and I think what's even more hurtful for me as a man is when brothers start upholding these kind of views, because it just shows how weak they are in front of their wives. They want to be nice. I'm sure that they want to be cute and nice and even impress people. They look how good Islam is, that women will do things out of their goodness if they want to. But that's not how Islam works. And if we were to go into a discussion and debate to look at rights and responsibilities as a woman, I think some people will not get very happy with that if we go deep into it with evidence. So let us just get to it. They say that a woman is not supposed to, she doesn't have to, she does it out of kindness. So no cooking, no cleaning, no sleeping anymore, because some scholars now are saying, well, she doesn't really have to sleep with you if she can't or she doesn't feel. And many women don't feel like it and can't. And many brothers get intimacy only once a month, once every 2 weeks, or once a week, which I believe is very little. But now the sisters are saying, the Shaikh because if I'm not feeling good, I don't have to do this. And if the Shaikh also, he said that I'm not feeling good, I don't have to cook, or, it's just, I'm going to do some sadaqah for you. Subhanallah. Interesting. Very, very interesting. So let's analyze again. There are many hadith where the Prophet ﷺ said that if, the fadl or the benefit or the blessings of having a husband, the hadith of the sujood, if anyone were ordered to give, to prostrate to anyone other than Allah, then he would have ordered to prostrate the woman to prostrate to the man. And in another hadith, Al-Hakim, Allah will not look at a woman who does not appreciate her husband's relation, although she cannot leave him. And many other. In the hadith of At-Tirmidhi, whenever a woman causes annoyance and torture to husband in this world, his mate from among the huris, the hurlain, will say to her, may Allah ruin you, do not cause your husband annoyance, for he is only your guest and will leave you and join us in paradise. Of course, women will be upset. But it says, don't cause annoyance, don't upset him. If the guy, let's look at it. If the guy, he wants you to cook or clean, he needs help, he's working, he's not some lazy, I'm never talking about lazy men. But if the man is a good man, he's working his best. Imagine coming home, cooking, nope. Cleaning, no, I don't have to. Shaykh so-and-so from the Shafi madhab, he said, I don't have to. I don't want to give you sadaqah, I'm not feeling so generous today. Can we sleep together? Nope, not feeling good. Okay. What then will a woman do? Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot. She has to go out and work, right? Or go to the gym. Or, be out there mixing with the man in her workplace and doing her career. This is what you see today, subhanAllah, what people are pushing, even some scholars. So let's get out of this whole, a scholar said so-and-so. We respect the scholars. And there can be a big debate as to who's a scholar, who's not a scholar, who's influenced. Even throughout the history of Islam, there's many, not all scholars are on the right path. This you have to understand. With all due respect, of course. Astaghfirullah, and no one should speak bad about scholars, but this is the reality. There's been differences amongst the scholars. People have written books, even in refutation and retaliation to each other, and so on. There's a few hadith, of course. For example, the hadith of in Imam Ahmed, okay, find out how close you are to your husband, for that will decide your fate, whether to paradise or hell. If a woman dies while her husband was pleased with her, she will enter paradise. At-Tirmidhi. And, right? It's okay, yes, the hadith in At-Tirmidhi, had it been permissible to a person to prostrate before anyone else, I would have ordered a wife to prostrate for her husband. People say some hadith, oh Tirmidhi, oh Ahmed, oh this. If you don't know Mustalah al-Hadith, let's not get into it, okay? In Hadith, in Muslim, okay, if you don't accept Tirmidhi, by him in whose hands my soul is, okay? وَالَّذِي نَفْسِي بِيَدِي. This is when the Prophet would say that he's basically swearing by Allah. No man asks his wife to bed and she refuses, but the one who is above the skies, Allah, will be angry with her till her husband is satisfied with her. I can go on and on and on, but some people don't like it. They try to find any way out. Oh, but scholar so-and-so said this and this. Yeah, but scholar so-and-so, maybe his wife is quite strong on him. And I'm not trying to disrespect, and that's why I'm not naming. But you have to understand, the proof is the proof. The Prophet ﷺ is above scholars. Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu used to say, when asked about Hajj, and he said, he would give a certain fatwa. He says, the Prophet ﷺ said, and they would say, yeah, but Abu Bakr and Omar, they said this. And he said, I feel like Allah will throw rocks from the sky on you. I'm telling you, qala Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and you're telling me Abu Bakr, Omar. Of course, we love Abu Bakr and Omar. Astaghfirullah. You understand what I'm trying to say, right? It's sunnati wa sunnatul khulafa rashidin al-mahdi. After. First is Allah, and of course the Prophet brings what Allah has given us. And then the Sahaba, the Khulafa Rashidin first, and then those after them. So, the discussion now, the sisters say though, and I want to refute this first, the hadith of Aisha radiallahu anha. So, when asked about the Prophet ﷺ, how he was in the house, he says, كَانَ يَكُونُ فِي مِحْنَةِ أَهْلِ. He was in the service of his family. This hadith in Bukhari. And mihna is like busy. He was serving. So he was doing things. But you have to understand context. In hadith, in the science of hadith, one very important point is it's called basically reconciliating hadith. Is you have to bring the hadith on the same topic. So for example, busy with what? You mean like when he was in the house, he was up. But how long was he in the house? Because if you look at it, and one of the Shaikh actually calculated, and he said the Prophet ﷺ was barely in the house, was not so much in the house because he was so busy. So the time that he was in the house, yeah, maybe he was doing stuff. He was taking care of his family, no doubt about it. But then we see that the wives of the Prophet ﷺ were cooking, and they were taking care of the house in many other hadith. Sometimes in Shamal, for example, Aisha is saying that sometimes we didn't have food to cook, or there was no fire in the house of the Prophet ﷺ. He was not cooking, they were cooking. So we have to understand this in context, because the liberal feminists, they're saying that, okay, they're saying the argument is that the word mihna is busy serving, but also in the Arabic language can mean work, job, profession. Oh, so now it's becoming the work and the job and the profession of the Prophet ﷺ to serve his family, hence it also becomes I see the argument. So whether it's helping, washing the dishes, they say cooking, cleaning, raising the kids, etc., all part and parcel of being a man to the house. Okay? The notion is somehow degrading for men to help is foreign to Islam, they say. Who said it's degrading? Who said men don't help? Actually, most men that I know help. That's not the argument. A man will help anyway from the bottom of his heart when he sees his wife, they're struggling all that. Sometimes we'll get a helper. That's not the discussion. And if some men don't help and they're just sitting there, be like, I'm the boss. And she's struggling, she's sweating, she's and hyperventilating, and he doesn't care, he's a bad man. And the Prophet would probably never do that. That's not the argument though. He's putting his feet up and he's watching his wife and she's falling down and she's passing out, she has low blood pressure or low iron, and he's like, sorry, Islam, I cannot do this because I'm not, I'm a man. No. That's not what we're doing, whether men supposed to help or not. No. We're talking about whether women are supposed to do this work. Because that's the argument. I'm sorry, if the men are saying like, we're never going to touch anything. I mean, if the guy works 10, 12 hours and you're at home doing nothing, so you're not going to sleep with him, not cook, not clean, then what are you doing, woman? Sorry, with all due respect. That's what we're arguing. And then you come home, he comes home and you expect him, you left half the dishes and be like, well, the Shaikh, so you're supposed to help. كان في محنتي أهلي. He's in the service, in the work, in the job, in the profession of his family. See, this is how people deviate from the right path. They take words and they say, oh yeah, but in Arabic language it means this. So the parvesis and the Quranites, they say Salah means this. A system is not really prayer. And it means this. And they use like, okay, the racehorse and it's about this and about that. They go into the qamus, into the dictionary, and they find all kinds of things. Lisan al-Arab says this and that. SubhanAllah, if you look at their arguments, you get lost. Look at the arguments of the Qadianis with tawaffi, mutawaffi, what it means. Using the Arabic language, they have a huge argument that Isa alayhi salam, that he died in Kashmir. Ya Allah, and what Masiha means and what Mahdi means, subhanallah. You will go astray. I've debated these people, I've seen it. But we see the issue of a maid. The Prophet ﷺ is requested by his daughter, who he used to stand up for when she used to come in and love her and care for her so much. She asks him for a servant. Why? He, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, split between the work, her in the house, Ali outside. Of course the man is going to work. What do you think? The man does nothing. See, that's the thing. The women, the liberal women, Muslim women, focus on, they don't see the 10 hours that he does outside. They just see the few hours that he comes in the house. So he's been working. And of course, if you're in your mind, you want to be outside for 10, 12 hours. And of course, now that's where the argument comes in, because these women want to be out there with their career, their tight pants, their convertible hijabs, and just be out there and push hard. And then, of course, they're coming home after 8, 10 hours of work. And he comes home after 10 and he's like, well, half, man. Well, half on the bills and half on everything too, right? Oh, no. Islam says you're supposed to provide for me. Come on, man. It's like the double standard is crazy. And even for the woman who's going to accept that, hey, okay, we'll do half in bills and all that. Man. Khair. See, there's always a person who wants to go away from the truth will always find a way, subhanAllah. إِذَا لَمْ تَسْتَحِي فَاسْنَعْ مَا شِئْتَ. If you are not shy, من أول كلام نبوة, from the first things that was revealed to the Prophet ﷺ, if you're not shy, then do as you please. You can do whatever you want. You'll find a way always. So Fatima requests for a servant. The Prophet ﷺ said, let me teach you. Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar. Right? He taught him dhikr. He came in between them in their bed, between Ali and Fatima radiallahu anha. Look at context, man. You keep saying, كان في محنتي أهلي. Look at context. Look at what he did. But let us put it to rest now. You're going to say, but scholar, are you a scholar, Brother Jibril? No, I'm not. Oh, but scholar so-and-so says, so how can you look at what Rasulullah ﷺ said? Because scholar and scholar, you can take from here, take from there. When you put the scholar in front of you, he's going to say something. I don't think even the scholars they're quoting that he said that, because it looks out of context. And he's quoting actually another scholar. By the way that I've looked at that fatwa, it's an older scholar, and that's not what he said about getting a maid. He says about the social status. If she's really like in a high social status and money and this and that, then yes, he's also going to be there. He's supposed to provide a maid for her. And this is an issue of culture. So let us look at Asma bint Yazid. She was the spokesperson of the Sahabiyat. Ya Rasulullah, O Messenger of Allah, I stand for a group of women who are of my opinion. To proceed, Allah the Almighty has sent you to both men and women. I said this hadith is, la ba'as fi, is a good hadith. Then we believed and followed you. We women are confined to our homes. To target to men's lusts, meaning have to give in to them in intimacy, and bear of their children. Yet men have privilege to attend Friday prayers, funerals, and to fight in the cause of Allah. On the other hand, in case of fighting, we keep their property and rear their children. Would we share in Allah's reward? Okay? Would we share in Allah's reward? And let me read this part as well. They say, okay. They say, when men go for Hajj, Umrah, Jihad, we protect their property, clean and repair their clothes. Look at that. Oh, I thought the Prophet ﷺ used to clean and repair his clothes. Yes, he did. No doubt. The Prophet ﷺ did many things, and many men did things. And it is a sunnah, no doubt. But here we're talking about what's women's responsibility. And what's the point again of this refutation? Is to refute this mentality that's coming about. Why are these sisters making this debate? Because they want to go out, wear tight jeans, and put lipstick on and fulfill their so-called careers and dreams that have been brainwashed into them by the Western society. Nothing wrong with education, nothing wrong sometimes with working, depending on the situation. Their priorities are messed up. And they're trying to come now, and that's where the problem is, to justify. If you say, hey man, this is what it is, I'm just gonna do it, different story. But now you're trying to come up and say, scholar so-and-so did this word means this in Arabic, whatever. This is where it pisses me off. Sorry for a lack of better words. It just doesn't make sense. So she says, look at that. She didn't say, she wasn't questioning, she's asking, and she's very, she's very outspoken. So she said, are we going to have the same reward? The Prophet ﷺ looked at his companions. There's men looking now. This is the chance, man, where he can say, hey, come on, guys, help them out, be nice, come on. You can do it. When you come home from jihad or from this and that, you can help them. Come on, it's 50-50, guys. Don't forget. And women should also come for jihad and go for everything we're doing. 50-50. Everyone's the same. Context, guys. Context. That's why when you study hadith, sharia, you have to look at everything together. You have to put everything together before you make a point. Because you're saying something against Allah that is not correct. Following your desires, because you don't extract your opinion from the proofs. You don't extract proofs from your opinion. You extract opinion from the proofs. You don't inject your opinion into the proofs. So, the Prophet ﷺ looked at his companions and asked, have you ever heard a better question about religion than this? Look at that. Have you ever heard a better question about religion than this? They reply, you are right, Ya Messenger of Allah. He said, go back, Asma, and tell all women you stand for treating one's husband kindly. I repeat, go back and tell all the women. Treating one's husband kindly, seeking his consent, and obeying him are equal to all what you have mentioned concerning man. Do you understand that? And of course, we have in the Hadith of Bukhari and Muslim, okay, إنما طاعة في معروف It's obedience is only in good and right. Okay? And لا طاعة للمخلوق في مسيئة الخالق. We know this is not Hadith in Ahmad. It's not disobedience something. You're never going to obey him in something that is wrong. But if the man is good, he's asking, cook for me, clean for me. I'm out. I don't want you to be out wearing your tight jeans and your hump, on your head and your lipstick. I want you to stay home with the children. I want you to prioritize. But I want my career, and my parents spend all this money on education and this and that. But I want kids. I want to have a family. This is more important for me. So you should say, okay, Sami'ana wa ta'ana. We hear and obey in khair, in goodness. Because it's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who's sent the Prophet who's telling us this. So go and tell them. Go and tell them this. Obedience to the husband. The husband wants you to take care. He doesn't want you to mix. He has ghira. He loves you. He cares about you. But no, you want to find some debate to justify what you see on TV. Because it's in the back in your subconscious. I want to do that too. You don't know why? Because it's been injected into you. You've been watching all these videos, all these Netflix, all these things, and you just wake up one morning like, I want to do it. I can do it. Let me find some Fatawa, some scholars who say, yeah, you don't have to do this, you don't have to, I have to free myself, right? No housework, no cooking, no intimacy, no nothing. We're the same, right? Allah is fair. So now I can just go. Don't talk to me, don't tell me, I'll take whatever. Subhanallah. So Asma appreciated, the Prophet appreciated her intelligence. So after she went and told the other women. She left joyfully in this book. It says that she left joyfully and she wanted to give the glad tidings to her friend. She told them what she heard from the Messenger of Allah ﷺ. All women became very happy when they heard the glad tidings. They became happy. They were not like, oh man, I have to cook, I have to clean, because they saw the shortcut to Jannah. Allah is pleased with you, you get the reward of jihad, hajj, umrah, everything. Just by obeying your husband. Just by he's pleased with you. A good husband. Simple. Shortcut. No, I want to go for 200 kilometers. But you have 2 steps. No. I want to take 2,000-mile trip. But it's easy. No, I want to go through the difficulties. But you have 2 steps. 2 steps between you and Jannah. 1 step. No. Subhanallah. Yani, I don't know. Yeah, you're gonna get upset, I know. So she told them, and they're happy. And look what it says here. All of the women became very happy when they heard the glad tidings. From there on, they regarded housework as worshipping, bringing them reward, not as burden. Allahu Akbar. So Asma narrated some of the talks of the Prophet ﷺ and narrated 81 hadith, of the Prophet ﷺ. 81 hadith. Naam. Subhanallah. So, this is Asma. This is the story. Should women cook and clean and take care of the house and take care of children and be proud of it? Yes. And if the man is proud with her and happy with her, that she protects herself, her beauty, she keeps to herself, and this is her jihad. This is a struggle to wait for him, beautiful, to be intimate with him, to love him. As the Prophet ﷺ said, the best woman is the one, when you look at her, you are pleased. When you order her, she obeys. So when you see all this evidence that I've given you, and yet still some people in some debates, and even if we analyze and I did see some of the opinions of the scholars in this issue. I looked at the narrations and what they say. Again, you have to understand, there's culture, there's influences, there's things, there's context to everything. But I believe that in today's world, this is being used in the wrong way right now to make women rebel against men, to make women go out there and just be like men. And a lot of problems happen because of this. Now, I'm not saying they have to be prisoners, even though the Prophet ﷺ used that word, but it's not literal necessarily. But it's because of the restriction, indeed. And Aisha radiallahu anha says that in the Hadith. But I believe that the world is trying to destroy our women, and it has really done a good job, because now it's our women who are fighting. It's not anymore the non-Muslim women. They've just injected, now they left them to fight and to bring up their problems. And now men are saying, my wife I don't know where she is. She's not home. She's going out with her friends. She doesn't want to take permission. Permission, that's what the Hadith says. You ask him. How many women still, if they do something, they're like, my husband, can I go? Oh, how dare you? How can I have permission from my husband? I'm not a kid. Ya Allah. The Prophet ﷺ is saying that. There should be no man, no real man. Just goes somewhere or whatever, does something, and he doesn't know where his wife is. Or his wife goes somewhere, picks up and says, oh yeah, sorry honey, it's 10 o'clock at night. I'm out with my friends having some fun. Oh baby, what's that sound in the back? Oh, just some music, we're just like at this like place, this club, or like we're just having some, milk or something, It's like, what? Oh, don't worry, baby, I'll be home in like an hour. Go to sleep, I'll wake you up. What? Are you kidding me? But we're American, man, what's wrong with this? Huh? Allahu Akbar. Then we wonder why we're at where we are. So my brothers and sisters, and my brothers, the ones who are fighting and supporting this sisters movement, this so-called liberal, because men are, this is what It's like, man, are you doing that? You're supporting that? Ya Allah. So, in mulakhasan, or in summary, yes, women are supposed to obey their husband, to cook, clean, take care of the house, take care of the children, whatever his heart desires that does not displease Allah or is not wrong or oppresses her. And if she's sick and if she's not feeling well, he has to take that in consideration, no doubt. Not just going to put his feet on the table and be like, woman, come on, you're my slave. No, it's not about slavery. It's about companionship. It's about understanding who's responsible for what. And yes, we ta'awan, we help each other if we have to, but that's not the main role of the man, as per the hadith of Asma and what she said. Because the women of the Prophet ﷺ were the best women who understood the deen the best, and they had the best questions, and the Prophet ﷺ did not feel shy, and he responded to them, and Sahabas were there witnessing it. And many hadith, the hadith of Fatima, and where, yes, it is clear that women are responsible and should obey, and there's no difference of opinion that a woman should obey a good man who's asking her good things. And he's the one who decides who goes where and what's the priority of the household. They consult, they make shura, yes, as the Prophet ﷺ made with Salama and other hadith, definitely. But in the end, who's the qawwam, who's the imam of the house? Imam. Imagine, imam says Allahu Akbar and you're doing Sami Allahu liman hamidah, as women think today. Imam goes for ruku, you go for sujood. But why? Because I want to, I can do whatever I want. No, he's the imam, you follow him. That's why he's imam. That's why the men have been imam. A righteous man, of course. And the more the women are going to move away from this, and the more they're going to fight this, the more they're going to be unhappy. And they're going to realize it too late. And I feel sorry for the men who are supporting this. I'm really sorry. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide you, because you're doing a disservice to good men. I'm not saying that there isn't bad men out there who might be abusing, but that's not what we're talking about. And they have no right to do that. And there's so much evidence against them. We're talking here about the liberal women now who are trying to disobey their husbands and use the Sharia to justify their disobedience, to go outside, to be kasiyatun ariyat, to have it's a professional dress that I'm wearing and everything is showing. Honey, what's so professional about it? Well, this is like the latest fashion. I have to look presentable. I'm there. I have to show example of Islam. I have to show that I'm a Muslim. I have to look good, be clean. They cannot think that I'm some bad woman. I don't know what I'm doing. I have to show them I'm representing Islam out there. Representing Islam out there, showing your shapes and your curves. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us. I do recommend reading this book to our sisters and to the men who are supporting the liberal sisters. And I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brings our families back together, brings the imams back, because men have to put their foot down as well, and women to understand what is the one step, 2 steps maybe, not 20,000 miles to reach the other side and cross the oceans, and because they think we have to do it. We're strong. We have to prove ourselves. The Prophet ﷺ gave you shortcut. Obey your husband. Bottom line. Jazakumullah khair. If you like this video, share it. I'm sure many don't like it. It's all good. No problem. As you see, and this is just the way it is. But if you do like it, check out the links, subscribe, and support my Patreon work and the YouTube membership so I can do more videos and work more on this stuff. Barakallahu feekum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.